Go ahead.
Are we live?
We are live. We
All
are
right.
on
Happy
air
Beer Day.
recording.
Happy National Beer Day, everybody.
Happy National Beer Day.
We do have a great show tonight. Let's see. We have a father and son-in-law team. Can I call you guys a team? You're kind of a team, right?
Sure. Kind of, yeah.
You're
They're
competition, you're
frenemies.
co-opetition.
Exactly.
But you both run successful Amazon businesses and travel around the West Coast with a trailer in tow and jam it full of profitable inventory to pay for your trips. So we have Scott Menke.
Yep.
Raise your hand, Scott, so we know who you are, even though your name is written below.
Busy, so
Scott's got his beer,
And Chris Guthrie.
That's me.
Raise your hands.
drinking out of a mason jar.
There you
There
go.
you go. Looks like you're drinking moonshine. So we met these guys, Cordelia and I met these guys at CES. And again at the most
did?
recent Scan Power Conference. Yeah, we did.
Okay.
I guess I'm the only one that remembered that.
Too much beer already.
But here's the thing. I was thinking about this. This is why I wanted to intro these guys. They both have a monkey connection. Okay? Scott Menke, he won a Scanner Monkey membership at CES.
That's right. And he
That's
used
right.
my
And that's
business
how-
card.
And he used your business card. And that's how
He
we
wrote
got
his
to know
name on the
him.
back of my business card.
you'll never
And he
give
won
that up.
a lifetime membership.
Oh, man. A lot of jealous people in the chat room. But here's the thing. His last name is Menke. I mean, come on. That guy has to be a Scanner Monkey. It sounds like, what's the guy's name in the Pink Panther? Inspector Clouseau.
Right. There's a
Menke. Did you Menke bite?
Right.
And Chris, I don't know if he'll show it to us, but Chris has a tattoo of a monkey on his leg.
Ooh.
It's a robot monkey. It's a cyber monkey. The inspiration for cyber monkey deals.
Right. So where's my cut of Cyber Monkey?
Chris,
Deal?
show us your
Give it me
tattoo.
later.
How am I gonna do this on webcam here?
This is
Here we go.
So gets
Showing some
crazy.
leg here.
Feel like we need a drum roll here.
Is it a butt tattoo?
No, it's not. It's on his leg.
Where
Oh,
is it?
darn it. Sorry, ladies.
I can't get it in there.
There you go.
Oh,
We can
that's
kind of
what
see.
they
There
all
you
say.
go.
There it is.
Cyber
Robots.
monkey.
It's a cyber monkey.
This
Punk monkey.
officially makes Chris one of my idols.
It's,
my
I have a
idols
new term. It's
in
a
the FBA world.
steampunky. It's a steampunk monkey.
There you go. Steampunk monkey.
Yep.
I've been to enough Comic Cons to know what a steampunk monkey is, or a steampunk anything. So anyway, so now's the time where you guys tell us about yourself. Give us a little background.
Well,
And,
let me introduce them. I have their bios. Is that okay?
Oh, we have bios. Okay. This is so official with the bios.
It is. So Scott, who is the father-in-law, started FBA to help his youngest child learn how to run a business. Within 3 months, he realized how viable the model was and decided to focus on it more intensely. 1 year after starting, he left his corporate world job and never looked back. And how long ago was that? Oh, that was in 2014. So it was only 2 years ago.
Right. That was-
And
yeah, 2014. And the only thing that I didn't put in the bio, which is an important part of all of this, is Chris was actually the one who told me about all this. So I'll let you go on to Chris then.
okay, so Chris, so basically if it ever goes bad, you have the perfect scapegoat.
Absolutely.
Your son-in-law.
I,
First you take my daughter and then you take my soul. Chris is an ex-cubicle rat,
I should have put cubicle monkey though.
cubicle monkey that
Yes,
did
you should
eventually have his own office. But he was tired of working insane hours for his salary. That's a story we've been hearing a lot lately. He started in March of 2014 and quit his job at the end of the year. 2015 was his very first year doing online selling as his sole source of income. And he moved out of the garage into his first shop and started growing his team. He learned a lot, and we're using that knowledge to achieve his 1.4 million gross sales goal for 2016, which is up 100% from last year. So that means last year you did about 700,000 in 2015. He lives near Ventura, California with his amazing and supportive wife and 2 beautiful children.
And they are beautiful.
Of course they are. They're Scott's grandkids. How could they be anything but beautiful?
Well, I don't know. Look at them.
Do they
Who's
have
to blame
monkeys?
for this again? Who got who in the FBA
So
business?
Chris started it. Scott was like going to teach my youngest kid how to run a business. Now, what was your corporate job before you did this?
Who you
Scott.
asking? So I did a lot of healthcare IT, a lot of IT stuff, software, hardware, mostly software. And Chris and I have for years, we've talked about, getting out of the rat race, Robert Kiyosaki and talking about opportunities outside of the corporate world. We've tried a couple things and we failed. And we learned a lot from that. And, the good thing is we didn't fail hard and we didn't give up. And I think Chris was less giving up than I was. I had kind of taken let me just settle into my corporate job again for a little while after our last couple of ventures. And then Chris one day said, "Hey, you know what, Scott? You really need to check this out." And he put a heavy emphasis on that.
Yeah.
So he's the one who got me into it.
All right.
So
And
you're to blame.
you're to blame. And now you guys both still do a lot of RA, right? You guys are both hardcore kind of retail arbitragers.
We are at the moment. That's not where I always want to be, but it's working very, very well right now. We've had a lot of help from other amazing sellers that have helped us get to the level we're at right now. We have a really great little mastermind group that we participate heavily in. And yeah, I mean, and some of the guys we work with, they're just insane numbers on RA. So we're kind of pipsqueaks compared to some of the other people we're associated with.
So 700,000 is pipsqueak. So that's pretty good because there's a lot of people who you hear the whining, oh, RA's dead. You can't find good deals anymore. But you guys are both doing really well with just hardcore RA. So
Yeah.
RA is far from dead.
Yeah, I'd have to say so.
Yeah, and I think Chris and I we have a lot of motivations, but we have some people that we've met, talking about networking and how important networking is. When we went to CES in 2014 in Dallas, we met some people there who just really had a big impact on our lives, our business, and one of the people, I'm not going to bring up his name because I didn't ask him beforehand if he wanted to be talked about, but he's an RA master and just really kind of motivated both of us. And let's just say that Chris and I put together don't even equal what this guy's doing in RA. So we saw the potential, and I think the value to that is networking introduces you to opportunities that you didn't realize were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing when you just meet people and hear their stories. It's so inspirational to hear them, and usually if people go to the trouble of attending a conference, they want to talk to other people, so they're more willing to share.
Yeah.
When I was sharing a cab with Scott and we were talking about his involvement with Scanner Monkey, he said, I'm a bit of a lurker. That's what he told me. It's like, I said, I don't really see a lot from you in the group. And he's like, yeah. I mean, I enjoy the group, but I mean, he's obviously very busy, shipping out a lot of stuff, buying a lot of stuff, doing his thing. And so he checks Facebook, for a few minutes a day. He doesn't get all tied up in it like Corti and I do. But it's from what I've gathered, CES, Scan Power Conference. Now, you got the Denver Rocky Mountain Conference coming up at the end of this month. What's the official name of that thing again?
Just reseller conference.
Just the reseller
conference. The Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference.
So you're seeing the benefits, obviously, of the network. Not necessarily have to be online, but meeting people face to face. There's just such a, and drinking with them until 3 a.m. and sharing stories.
And everybody devouring pizza in the lobby of a hotel.
There you go. So there you go. Did you pay for that? No.
I just put a link up to the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference, which is in a couple weeks, and 3 of the 4 of us will be there. We are having a Scanner Monkey cocktail hour again, and I think it's going to be in a bacon-themed restaurant, so that should be fun.
Nice.
A bacon-themed, right? You didn't even tell me this. A bacon-themed restaurant.
Posted it on Facebook. I don't know what else you want me to do.
I've been out of pocket for a little bit,
It's
so
okay. I really, my concern with the bacon-themed restaurant is I didn't want, because there's religious groups who don't eat bacon, and so I didn't want to be offensive to those groups, but I also could not find another place to have the event. So
I'm sure they'll have other things there, right?
A necessity and whatever. So
Isn't there kosher bacon?
kosher style
no.
bacon, according to Walmart, yes.
No.
According to any Jew, no.
Sarah says no. Sorry. And if there was, it probably wouldn't taste as good. I'm sorry.
I mean, turkey bacon, but it's not the same. So I don't know, but we are. So
turkey bacon. So turkey bacon is fine. You can have turkey bacon. It just comes from a pig. Okay.
Yeah, can't come from a cloven.
Learn all kinds of things on our podcast, don't you?
Muslims also are not supposed to eat pork. So anyway.
And another fun thing about Dallas or Denver is that on Friday night there is a beer brew bus. Yeah, so
the brew bus is on Friday, which I think is a great idea. And then there's someone else organizing a wine tasting for people who don't like beer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Right. I'm jealous. I'm going to be in Napa Valley at this time.
Napa Valley. What are you jealous
And
of?
I'm jealous of you guys. I got to say, I live a dual life. People know this about me. I have my wine job. I have my FBA world. And hanging out with people till 3 o'clock in the morning at ScanPower Conference, at CES, or whatever it may be, I enjoy that so much more. The people are just really, really cool. Not saying that people in the wine industry are not cool, but it's just it's a different kind of camaraderie, you know, because we're all running our own businesses. In the wine world, it's like you're working for the man, and we all have nice perks with our job. But in the end, it's like, you know, when you're hanging out with people like Chris and Scott and everybody else that goes to like the ScanPower conference or whatever, and they're all trying to grow their businesses together, there's just a special kind of camaraderie there. And you learn so much from each other, whereas you go to these other kind of winery conferences, that's not necessarily the case. So y'all are going to have a lot of fun. I am a little bit jealous, but I'll get over it after I have a few glasses.
We'll have a beer for you.
There you go.
And I'll have a wine for you.
Okay.
So we have a question from Sarah who wants to know, what is your youngest kid, the one that you showed the business to, doing now?
Yeah. So, and I'm learning this system. I didn't realize answering live. I could have just probably answered via text. But,
That's okay.
So he's my operations manager. So, you know, maybe, so as we've grown our businesses, one of the things is I kind of, even from the beginning of 2014, I built up a larger, I'm sorry. Crush on Jay.
That's my husband, by the way, who typed that. My husband has a wants to have a bromance with Jay.
Okay.
Anytime, Mike. Anytime.
So I kind of I grew my infrastructure faster than I needed to, but I did that intentionally. I wanted to grow into it. Anyways, that being said, my youngest son, he's now my operations manager. And I have 5 people right now who work for me. We have a small warehouse that I'm in right now. So anyways, that's what he's doing. He's still working with me. Is he learning how to run a business? He's probably learning how to be an employee who has an easy life.
He's just another cog in the corporate machine.
Right.
So, Scott, of your 5 people, are they like full-time salaried? Or are they? How do you structure their pay?
Sure. So I have 3 people in the shop here. 2 are my prep and pack guys. So one of them is my son. So he's salary. He gets paid whether he comes to work or not. I would not recommend that to anybody.
Unless it's family.
Right.
Yeah.
Even then, I don't know.
My other prep and pack guy is great. He's hourly, and he's pretty much full time right now. I have a guy who does all of our listing for us. He's part time. He's about 30 hours a week.
What do you mean does your listing? Like creates listings or?
Yeah, he creates listings for us. So I have a couple of buyers, and I also do buying myself. Mostly what we do is RA. And what we do is we bring the product in here, basically drop it off, and then we call him product manager. The product manager takes the items and figures out how best to list it on Amazon. He determines what the price is, what listing to go under. He creates the listings and basically stages the products on our shelving here in the warehouse. Then our prep and pack guys come in, and they go through and they work through each. We use Inventory Lab, so we use batches of products. Mm-hmm. Our prep and pack guys come in and they work through a batch of products and prep it and ship it off.
So when you're out doing RA, are you buying stuff that's not listed on Amazon?
I would say right now our mix is about 95% to 5%. We do a lot of we're getting more into bundles. We've been doing bundles for a while, and we're getting more into it. We do some multi-packs, even multi-packs that don't currently exist. Mm-hmm. We'll go ahead and create those. So we've been about 95.5%. We're probably going about 90-10% right now, and we're going to increase bundling as I don't know, just as an easier way to private label, I guess you would say.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're exploring that more. At this point, my guy who does our product manager, he handles existing listings. I've just started the process of getting him to create new listings and working with taking photos and using merchant words and so on to get some new listings up.
Okay, great. So I'd love to hear more about your process in a few minutes, but let's give Chris a turn. It's Chris's turn.
Chris, put little signs or something. He's like, my turn.
Can you tell us a little bit about your operation and kind of your structure of your business?
Well, whenever you asked us what maybe the title of this Scanner Monkey TV could be, cooperative competitors, and Scott and I say that because we run things very similar to each other, and because we bounce so many ideas off each other, and we kind of find what works, and it seems like what works for my team works for his and vice versa. So it's very similar. I think Scott started with an employee, being my brother-in-law. Or team member. We don't like to use the word employee, but team member. And, so Scott's never really touched any items. He's never prepped and packed anything. Whereas when I started, I prepped and packed all my stuff. So I started in a little home office, moved halfway in the garage, then moved fully in the garage, then moved all my personal stuff out of the garage to make it be my shop. And that only lasted 2 months. And then I moved into this shop I have now. And so now I'm up to, I have one part-time prep and packer. He comes in about 18 to 24 hours a week. And then I have also a product manager like Scott. She does basically the same thing Scott's guy does. She does all the listings. She uses Inventory Lab. She creates batches. And then she also is creating brand new listings from scratch whenever we need multi-packs or whenever we determine, this is a great product we need to bring to the Amazon marketplace. And then from September through January, I bring in another person part-time for prep and packing. I shop, and I have a new shopper I just brought on 2 weeks ago, and he's doing amazing. He's just really gung-ho. He's going out there and he's just spending a ton of money, which is great. And
are you paying for the stuff and his time?
Yeah.
Or okay.
He uses my credit cards and or gift cards, so that we can try to, build margins. Mm-hmm. And then I pay him on a commission basis. So Scott's actually has more experience with that than I do. He's had shoppers longer than I have. And so, he's just getting a percentage of the profit of the item when it sells. And then to make things simple, if an item gets returned, I don't take that out of his commission. versus I think some people, their models, they do that. And I just want to keep things simple. If it gets
straight
returned,
commission, there's no hourly.
No hourly.
Okay.
Yeah. So the more he hustles, the more he makes,
Right.
and no minimum hour.
Can you guys not get rid of the questions? Who's doing that?
That's probably me.
Okay, because I try to make sure we get those all answered
Wasn't me.
by the end of the show. So I'm trying to work on the phone. Their questions are disappearing.
Somebody's vandalizing our Q&A already.
Right.
So I know we did answer some of them, but just let me keep up with that if you wouldn't mind. I'm a control freak, I guess. Like, where are the questions?
It's not me, Cordelia. I promise.
Jay.
Hands off the keyboard.
Don't touch the Q&A.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I just was like, questions are leaving. So Chris, your shopper's pure commission.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you pay him weekly or her monthly, or how does that work?
Just on my biweekly Amazon payout. As soon as I get that and it's in my bank account, then I just calculate what they get. And
how do you do that? How do you actually do that calculation?
I use Inventory Lab, so in Inventory Lab, we put the shopper as the supplier.
Oh, clever. Okay.
You can do it a couple ways. You can download the FBA profit or the FBA sales report plus the merchant fulfilled sales report and add those two together, and then do the math to determine their cut. Or you can even just go straight to the supplier profitability tool that's under reports. And so I usually do that first, so I get a solid number. I know how much it is, and then I pull the individual reports and then break it down, and then provide them with that list of items that they have purchased that have sold. I don't think that they use it because no one really wants to read a spreadsheet of information. And Scott and I are actually working on that together. We are trying to come up with a better reporting system to let our shoppers know, okay, here's your inventory. Here's your inventory health. This is when you sent it in. This is whenever it's sold. This is how much you thought it was going to sell for. This is how much it really sold for, so on and so forth. So they can become more educated and make better buying decisions in the future.
I love that idea. I have not heard that. I've heard people who code their MSKUs for shoppers, but I have not heard where you use the supplier, you use the shopper. That seems way easier to me because I tried that coding the MSKUs, and you have to export to a spreadsheet, and then you have to split it apart, and it's kind of complicated and cumbersome. But that supplier thing, it's already done for you. That's a great idea.
Good tip.
Good tip.
Because for us, I don't really care where I got it because we're doing retail arbitrage. A lot of it's clearance. It's not like we're probably going to go out and be able to buy it again. Right. So I don't really need to keep track of exactly what store it came from.
Right.
Now we have, been throwing out, exploring some other options on how to manage, suppliers and stuff like that. So that goes along with that more advanced reporting. We just haven't got around to it yet.
Well, you're still primarily retail arbitrage, right? I mean, you're not doing a lot of wholesale or any online. It's just
not for the lack of wanting to
shoppers.
Do it. Yeah, it's just, I'm 99% retail arbitrage. I personally hate online arbitrage. I can't stand doing it. I've tried having VAs, and they tend to always work out for a while, and then their lists they send you tend to start becoming rather poor, and it's usually because they're selling their items to other list services or other people and stuff like that. I literally caught VAs with their name on one spreadsheet, and then it's on another spreadsheet that my friend is also getting or something like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it's like, nah, and I was just tired of chasing people around, and you think it's good. I mean, typical, you send it in, there's 2 people, and now there's 100 offers on it, and the price is horrible. Now, not saying that some people aren't just killing it with OA, it's just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So what about creating your own listings? You do a lot of that?
Not as much as I should. We have done the bundles. We did very, very well at Easter with custom Easter basket bundles, and I think the listing helped a lot compared to a lot of our competition. If you looked at other people selling the same theme Easter baskets, ours was bar none the best because we had better photos, we had better listing, it had more information, and we did the proper keyword research for every single one of the themes that we did. We were the #1 search result for multiple keywords within days of listing it on Amazon.
Now, did you use the ad technique or did you use merchant words? What did you use for your keyword research?
Merchant words, but I've also used a keyword inspector.
Mm-hmm.
It's another keyword tool. It's actually rather expensive, but it has some amazing features in it. It's like it lets you spy on your competition,
Mm-hmm.
and you can really get in there and know how to use it. It really is really awesome.
Keyword Inspector allows you to take a listing that's on Amazon and it will tell you all the keywords that are in that listing.
Right. That's their primary feature, and they've actually added a couple new features.
Oh, they have. Okay.
That are really cool. Yeah.
I haven't really messed with it yet, but it sounds great because then you can go in, and if there's something like ranked number 1, you can find out what keywords they use and you can use them in your listing.
What's the cost on that?
It's a per use model where you kind of you buy credits. So it just depends like how many credits you buy, and like if you get special deals that they send out in emails, or if you were on someone else's, presentation, you get a one-time. If you buy it in 2 hours, you get more credits, yada yada, that type of stuff. But
Okay.
on average, it depends on the type of search you want to do, but it could cost you up to $1 a search.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's worth it if you're investing in, like, if you're creating a listing where you're going to like try to sell like $500 or more of stuff.
Yeah.
It's totally worth
Yeah.
doing. But if you're just like, you found something and it's the only one and you're just throwing it up there to see if it sells,
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
Right.
It's called, here, I'll put a link.
I know that Brett Bartlett and his group really promote it. That's kind of how I learned about it with his online Empire Academy. Well, at least what used to be. I know that a couple weeks ago, he's now with Jim Cockrum again. But
oh,
yeah,
good for him. You know what? Brett provides a lot of value for his.
He does.
And he's a good guy, and his marketing guy, Dean, who's his cousin, has been really helpful with Scanner Monkey. So I actually have, they're great people, and their programs are very top notch. So
yeah,
absolutely. Hey, we got a question in the Q&A about the percentage commission you're paying your shoppers. Is that different for the two of you, or
very similar?
Yeah, it's similar, and again, we take our cues from some other people, but I know I started paying a shopper first, and I just picked a number that I felt comfortable with making it simple as possible. I mean, simplicity. Yeah, you really. It comes down to how much time are you going to spend on the reports and figuring everything out. So, anyways, bottom line of that is 25%. So what I do is I look at the profitability. I pay them 25%. And we don't worry about all the little details of how much it costs to ship into Amazon, where the items returned. It just made us easy to do that at that level. It's just, like I said, simplicity.
So so if the profit on an item is $10, you're paying them $2.50.
Correct.
So you're
same
already
for you, Chris?
taking out for the purchase cost, but no other costs.
Yeah. Well, my shoppers are in their beginning stages. It's kind of a confusing situation. We can get into it, but I do have one shopper that's at 25%, and then I have another guy that's at 22.5%. And then I told him if he does well for 3 months, he'll get bumped up to 25.
Oh, okay. That's good motivation. And so how much, like, if you're a shopper for Scott Menke, how much money are you making every 2 weeks?
Well, as I think we all know, it's really what you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a couple different shoppers right now. My niece, who is an extraordinary shopper, she does really well, but she's a single mom. She's got 2 kids, and she's been working on getting a new certification in dental. So she doesn't have much time. So every couple of weeks, she was probably getting $200-$300. But that made a big difference in her life. I mean, that was the ability to pay for cheer camp and things like that for her kids. My main shopper, he works. He spends a lot of time with his family. he works 25, 30 hours a week, maybe a little bit more. For me, he probably works about 20 hours a week. Every 2 weeks, I pay him $1,200 to $1,500 every 2 weeks.
That's great.
Yeah,
the reason Scott said that he works for him 20 hours a week is because he's working for me about 10 hours a week. So, so it's actually a remote situation. Scott trained Jed. That's his name. He's an amazing shopper. And, well, Scott was coming up to the problem where he didn't have enough money for Jed. Jed was just so good at it that he was Scott was running out of funds. So Scott told me, hey, you want to give him a credit card and he can shop for you, and then he'll bring the stuff to my shop and we'll prep and pack it for you. So then Scott charges me a prep and pack fee, and then he's shopping for me. So on top of the $1,500 he's making every 2 weeks for Scott, he's making about another $700 for me.
Okay. So how far apart are you guys?
About 6.5, 7 hours.
And he's shopping for both of you. He's just going back and forth.
No.
He does everything at Scott's shop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. I was a little confused there. So
yeah, it's the wine you've had today. It's okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, what I really wanted to hear tonight is you guys do a lot of this together on trips.
Yeah.
And this was fascinating. When Scott and I shared a cab to the hotel from the airport in Orlando, he was telling me the situation. It's a bit of a different setup than a lot of people that do Traveltage, in that you don't ship things from the road. You just wait till you pack out that trailer from front to back, top to bottom, side to side, and you take it all back.
Yep.
Because that's just a pain in the ass to ship from a hotel.
Absolutely.
So the two of you together, you're actually outsourcing together. It's like road trip, and then you get out there and you hit a bunch of stores. You do a lot of grocery, and that actually was a question in the Q&A. Like, what categories are you in? Are you just widget salespeople, or when you go into stores, are you looking for anything specific?
Widget primarily, but we do specialize in a couple of categories. Scott and I both share a loathing for toys. We don't do a lot of those, except during Q4. Everybody does
Q4.
Right.
But Scott and I, we really do well in health and personal care, beauty, and grocery. I'd say between those three categories, at least for me, that's 65% of my gross sales.
Same for you, Scott? Would you say?
Yeah, I'd say more like 75%. I've always had a better affinity, I guess, for grocery than Chris has had. I love the category. And right now, I'd say grocery is probably 45% of everything I do.
Okay. But you shop together though, right?
Oh,
I mean, you're sharing a trailer. So how do you divvy these things up? I mean, do you just split everything down the middle? It's like, hey, I found this over here. I found this over there. You throw it all in the back of the trailer, and it's like, I'm going to do it at my warehouse and I'll split the profit with you, or I'm going to do it at my warehouse, or how do you?
Well, what we actually do is, like you said, we shop together, we find deals, we kind of split a store in half, or we take every other aisle and we just start filling carts, and then we put it in the trailer, and then we try to flip flop back and forth. What we do is we'll do a trip where it's in driving distance to my shop, and we'll drop everything off at my shop, and my team will have 2 inventory lab screens up. They'll have Scott's and they'll have mine, and they'll split everything in half and list 2 items here, 2 items for Scott, 3 items for me, 3 items for Scott, and we'll send them in on each other's behalf. And then the next trip we do, we'll do it so we're within driving distance of Scott's shop, so that we can drop everything off at his shop and his team will take care of it.
Are they the same item? So you buy like 6 of an item, then he gets 3, you get 3, or is it
on the same trip?
Random.
No.
Okay.
The same items,
okay.
And then if we happen to buy like an odd amount of an item, we buy 7 of something, 3 go on his account, 3 go on mine, and then we actually use another supplier under my account, and once it sells, I use Inventory Lab to determine, okay, well, this item finally sold, and then we split. I send him a check for half the profit on the item.
Okay.
How do you figure out who pays for the stuff?
Well, we kind of just try to every other store pay back and forth, and we just keep a tally, and then at the end we just determine who spent more on their cards this trip, and that person pays the other as a reimbursement in costs.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Mindy had a good question in the Q&A. I don't know if we want to address that and again, we're going back to shoppers here. So you have a shopper, buys something for you, gets the commission, the item's returned. The item is then resold. And he's asking us like, well, essentially you're kind of paying him twice, which I imagine is the nature of the business. So
it's the nature of it. We when I came up with the original model, that was kind of built in. Now as my business has matured and our ASP rises, my shopper, the main shopper, he's really good, and so we're at the point where he's out and he's buying items that may sell for $150, $200, $300 for the item. So it's something that we're going to revisit, but I think more on a value basis. When you're talking items that sell for $20, $30, $40, it's built into the model. So it's really only for those larger ticket items that we're going to. I don't have a set answer on it yet because I'm in the process of circling back around and determining, okay, how do we reconcile that? If I sell a $400, let's say, vacuum cleaner, and it gets returned, but it's sellable condition, the buyer didn't want it, how do I reconcile that so I'm not paying my buyer commission twice on such a large commission item? So I don't have a set answer, but I think the direction I'm heading is really value-based, that if the item, if the profit on a particular item was above a certain level, so just really extracting data from the refunds report and reconciling it that way. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Hey, Cordelia, how do I share a picture? Or do I just share screen for a second?
Hold on. You can try hitting share screen. I don't know if it'll work.
If you go to the bottom of your screen, there's a
host is disabled attendee screen sharing.
Here, I can fix that. I just had to hold on. Just give me a second. Can you talk a little bit about how you train your shoppers?
You want me to do that, Chris? Or you got it?
I got it. So Scott got insanely lucky. So Scott,
you can do your screen share now.
Scott, I'll share a picture. This is from our last trip. Let's see. This is the trailer when it was nearly full. So Home Depot boxes packed pretty tightly all the way back with inventory as tight as we could so we can stack it as high as we could.
So do you own that? Do you own that truck or did you rent it?
That's my trailer.
Oh, okay.
And we did most of that trip in the rain. We did Seattle and we did a little bit of Oregon. So it was fun.
And do you buy the boxes as you go, or do you kind of load the trailer up with boxes at the beginning?
Like one bundle of boxes usually, and then because we do buy some other stuff that'll just stack well on its own.
Right.
So back to the whole training a shopper. So Scott was sourcing at CVS, correct me if I'm wrong, a bunch of times, and he saw this extreme couponer guy in there a couple times, and he kind of just said hi, and then the next time he saw him again, he said, hey, I'd love to learn about couponing. Could I take you to lunch sometime? So Scott took him to lunch, and they started talking, and Scott actually said, hey, you seem like you'd be really great at doing what I do. Do you want to shop for me? And the guy was kind of like, oh, maybe I'll give it a shot. And he went out the first day and just was just killing it, just buying all kinds of great stuff. And Scott actually called me and he goes, man, I think there's another reseller in my area. He kind of forgot that, Jed was going to start shopping for him. And then the next day he goes, oh, it was actually Jed that bought everything at Rite Aid that I was looking for. It was my own guy I trained. So then fast forward, he already had a great skill set because he was an extreme couponer. He already knew stores. He knew sales cycles. He knew so much stuff. He knew managers, and he just had to learn about basically sales ranking categories and then just give him an app on his phone and let him loose. And he just started doing great.
Yeah. And if I could add on to that. So he was an extreme couponer and for people looking for a buyer, extreme couponers have a very intense, specific focus. And when I got with him and I had lunch with him and I let him talk about what he did and then I explained what I did, it was like, opening up a whole new world to him. He didn't even understand what this whole Amazon FBA thing was about, but he had the skill set to do what we need to do for RA in the Amazon world. He had that. He just didn't. It wasn't married up with the concept. So He kind of blew me away with his skills of being able to identify the good deals, and I kind of blew him away with what we're doing in the business, and it was a perfect partnership. So I think the key takeaway from that is, if you're out there and you're doing RA and you see somebody with a coupon book that's 5-6 inches or more thick walking around, walk up and just have a casual conversation with them, because they're not competitors. They've
got the right background to do what you want them to do. Now, we had somebody on our show not that long ago that utilizes personal shoppers and splits profits, and she does the shipping and all that. Cordelia Bouchen.
Barbara Boston. You guys know her. Yeah, they met her in Orlando. She was on last week. Yep.
So she was on, and she has contracts that she has them sign. Here's non-compete agreement. So when you guys hire these people, is it just kind of a gentleman's handshake agreement, or do you have them sign all kinds of paperwork saying you're not going to go start your own business? And
no.
Yeah. So with my main buyer, when I talked with him, I'm not going to get into all the personal situation, but he would love to do what I do, and he told me that flat out. But he has a particular timeline that he's interested in, and I told him, look, I'll teach you what I know, and in that time frame, in 2017, when you're ready to do this on your own, if you want to do it on your own, more power to you.
You're dead to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, I said, we'll still be friends, and we'll talk, and actually we'll probably be part of the same mastermind group. I think it's awesome.
How many people are in your mastermind group, by the way? You guys talked about this earlier. Is it like a big?
No, just 4 of us.
Just 4 of you? Okay.
4 of us that are like full disclosure.
And their names and phone numbers are?
4 of us that are full disclosure. We'll tell each other anything, any deal, how we run our businesses, exactly what we do, what we suck at, what we, basically everything.
Did you meet them at a conference?
We met them one of them at the dinner in Dallas a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then the other one's the other one's semi-local to me.
Okay.
I feel like there's a lot of fear about training your competition.
I don't see why.
But I have also shared your experience in that the people that I have trained, first of all, there's so many different ways to do this business, right? So like I trained a friend of mine and now she's selling, but she was shopping for me for a while. The only reason she didn't continue shopping for me is because I was too disorganized to take advantage of her. Not because there was some falling out or anything, but we're still friends. But I mean, it's fine. Like I'm not that worried about it. There's so much out there. And, I told her, I said, look, I'd love for you to shop for me. If you decide to do this on your own, great. It's fine. Like, I don't understand why people get so scared about that.
Yeah. And I think people get hung up on Cordelia, and my view is, and what I've shared with my team is, look, I will teach you what I know. If you want to compete against me, that's okay. But for me as a business owner, I want to be so badass as a business owner that they won't want to run their own business. They'll want to continue working for me. I truly believe, and I know Dave Ramsey says this, and a lot of other business people say this, the most valuable person in the organization is the salesperson. And in what we do for RA, that's the guy who goes out and buys this stuff for me. He's not a salesperson. He's buying stuff for me. But it's the same concept. And your salesperson should be paid more than anybody. And you know what? If my buyer makes more than I do, that's fine with me. Because I'm doing what I love. I want them to do something that they love. I want to compensate them for it. And I want them to not want to take on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Crap. I'll say crap. We're all adults here.
Well, most of us.
Shocking.
As a business owner that you have to take on. And you know what? If they want to step away from that and run their own business, that's okay with me. But I'm pretty confident as a business owner that they'll just want to keep working for me and making the big bucks.
There you go. You're just such a great boss. They wouldn't dream of leaving you. We got a question in the Q&A about your favorite stores. Where do you like to go? I mean, you're up and down the entire West Coast, from California up to Washington. I already know the answer to this question, but I mean, you're not shopping in the usual suspects of Walmart, Target. You're hitting some kind of regional accounts, right?
Yeah, one store that we love is a like a closeout grocery store chain called Grocery Outlet. They're only in Washington, Oregon, and Clovernia, and Pennsylvania, I believe. And it's pretty cool because we see stuff that maybe you see at Costco or Sam's Club, and then all of a sudden, like a month later, you see it at Grocery Outlet, and it's for half the price you ever saw it at Sam's Club, and you can make money off of it. So it's kind of cool to see that whole cycle from it going from the regular retail store all the way out to the
expiration dates are still good though. I mean,
sometimes it's not all grocery stuff though. It's a lot of health and personal care, a lot of beauty stuff. Yeah. Even some toys.
A little less perishable.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But we do, there is a lot of short dated stuff. So we've actually been kind of, at least I think for Scott and I both, we've been merchant fulfilling more lately than we ever have before. Just because we have team members to do it. If I had to do it myself, I'd no way I'd do merchant fulfilled. But as long as they're packing the boxes, I'm fine with it.
Why merchant fulfilled? You have a lot of hazmat, aerosols, things like that,
or the shorter dated stuff that we know is discontinued. That people, from my experience, people are more willing to accept short dated stuff if they know also that they're never going to get it again. So. Mm-hmm. So you generally don't get any complaints on that type of stuff.
So how do you put that in the listing? Do you actually say, "Hey, here's the expiration date"? When you put in condition notes, or
I do sometimes in condition notes, but I never sell anything outside of Amazon policy. So I mean, I'm still following the rules.
And there's a link in the chat room, groceryoutlet.com.
Yeah, they got quite a few stores.
Can you buy online?
No.
Okay, it just shows you where they are, just locations.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
do you have a bolo, Scott? Did you go get a bolo?
I did. I went and got a bolo, and I'm going to hold this guy up here. And these are Luna mini bars. Luna is very popular.
Protein.
So, an example is this Luna mini bars. Now, the expiration on this is July 4th. So Independence Day of this year. Now that's pretty far out, but when you talk in Amazon FBA terms, that's not 105 days out. So I don't want to send this in the Amazon FBA. I don't want to violate their policies or have this shipped back to me or anything like that. But this policy, this particular product right here, there's only 2 people on this product, me and somebody else. I picked this up for $7. I sold 3 of them today for $33 a box.
Nice.
Wow.
Great. I've seen Luna, but I don't think I've ever seen the minis.
I think it's a seasonal flavor, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you got that at the Grocery Outlet?
Yeah, exactly. So it's chocolate dipped coconut and chocolate peppermint stick. So,
so for you Californians listening that are near a grocery outlet.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really good point because you guys have the team in place to do the merchant fulfilled for you.
Right.
So it's worth it. For me, if I saw that, I'd be like, forget it. I'm not merchant fulfilling granola bars. Yeah. So it's a good way to distinguish yourself from your competition and be able to provide customers what they want.
Yeah. And, like Scott was getting at with that item, it expires in July. Someone's going to get that. They're probably going to eat those in 2 weeks,
Right.
They're not going to have a problem with it expiring in July. So,
right. What kind of tools are you guys using in terms of repricers and scanning apps and all of that?
We both use Inventory Lab, so we use Scoutify, and thank goodness they did an update, I think last week, because there was such a problem with Scoutify. You couldn't copy and paste out of the listing to copy and paste ASINs or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we use Scoutify for scanning. We both use Be Cool for repricing. It's kind of a lower, no one really has ever heard of it type of repricing.
We have a discount for Be Cool.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, Jinx. You do.
If you are a scanner monkey, we have a discount for Be Cool.
And Be Cool, it's great. It has its limitations, but Scott and I were actually talking today that we're going to hire a developer to make a Chrome extension that will add a couple more features inside of Be Cool, because right now it doesn't show you your current inventory levels like App Eagle does. And it doesn't show you the sales rank of the item. So we're going to get a Chrome extension made that'll throw that info on the screen for us right next to it.
Oh, so good idea.
hopefully get that done soon.
Why do you have to hire that out? You got Scott. Scott's the programmer, right?
Yeah, but Scott's rate is too damn expensive.
Yeah.
You can't afford it.
Right.
It's a magic trick.
But anything else? I don't know what else we use. We actually have another product in development that we're going to use for our group, and then maybe one day move it out to something that people would want to use, like a bolo sharing platform that's very mobile friendly, because Scott and I get frustrated with sharing bolos, and other people in our group, you either text message them to each other, Facebook Messenger, a Facebook group, Evernote, an email, they're all over the place. You can't ever find them. You can't sort them. You can't search them very easily. And so we're making something from the ground up that us and our shoppers can throw out a bolo to the group with like 2 clicks of a button on your smartphone. And then everybody can look at those bolos and filter them and sort them so that it's super easy to find them.
Would you do that through like the iTunes and Google stores? Like
we're starting
Android
just
and iTunes,
no, not right now. We're starting just as a very mobile friendly web page.
Okay.
And then if it works out well, then we'll consider doing
But this is something you're keeping amongst your shoppers, maybe your mastermind group, and
well, for now,
Yeah.
but we're going to see how well it works and see if there's interest. Maybe have some other people, talk, or some other people, kind of beta test it in their groups.
Right. Get with me later. Sounds like a great idea.
Messaged him. Already PM'd him on Facebook.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by software, so
Do you how do you do your accounting? Are you using just Inventory Lab, QuickBooks, online? What's your
QuickBooks Online for me, and I have a bookkeeper, and I do some of it, because if I'm already categorizing transactions in Inventory Lab also. So unfortunately, I'm kind of doing double bookkeeping because I use Inventory Lab as kind of like a day-to-day, month-to-month. This is how profitable I am. And at the end of the year, I maintain my QuickBooks file, and that's what I give to my CPA because he doesn't want to look at Inventory Lab. So I do some of the stuff in QuickBooks myself, but then the bookkeeper does the majority of it.
Okay. Can you guys tell me what's one of the first products you ever sold on Amazon?
Oh gosh, I don't even remember.
I'll tell my story. So Chris said, "Hey, Scott, you need to check out this business," and he said, "Yeah, as anybody who's in this business should do." He said, "Read Chris Green's book first, Arbitrage, and I
sell it."
Sell it.
I read the book, and Chris said, go out to these stores. And I think one of those stores, he said, go to Target or go to whatever the stores, or he said, go out to. So my first day doing this, I had an app on my phone, Profit Bandit at the time. Took Profit Bandit. I went out and I understood the concept, understood what needed to be done, went to Target, went to, I don't know, a couple other stores. I went to like 3 stores. I was out there for about 5-6 hours. Nothing. Nothing hit me.
I give up.
Yeah. And so I went to a CVS, and I'm like, no, the idea is you need to scan everything. I had that drilled in my head. And so I'm in one CVS for 2 hours. Literally nothing whatsoever. And so I'm walking out of the store, and as I'm walking out of the store, I look back over my shoulder and I see these facial tissues. And I'm not going to give this bolo away because this is what this is, but I see these facial tissues on sale, and I walk back over there and I'm like, okay, before I leave, I'll just scan.
One last scan.
I scan it before. I mean, literally, I was going to give up. I scan this thing and I look at it and I look at it and I look at it. So those facial tissues. First thing I ever sold on Amazon, and I will tell you to this day, still one of my most profitable.
Still. Nice.
It's a replens. I could buy it over and over and over and over again and make money on it. And Dong, yes, thank you. 8 hours. It took me 8 hours to find one product that I was willing to sell because I'm a little conservative on that. But I'll tell you, once I found that one item, man, I was bitten. I was bitten by the.
Mama didn't raise no quitter.
Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir. Good for you. That's great. I don't know if we all would be in that same mindset. I was very fortunate. My first day of scanning after reading Chris Green's book, I went to Tuesday morning, and almost every other item I picked up was like gold, 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 gold. I mean, it was back when you could go to Tuesday morning and just shop toys, and that was it. And everything was just like profitable. Not so much these days, but yeah, back in the day, that's right, Mindy. Back in the day, 3.5 years ago, there was just so much more at Tuesday morning in Big Lots and some of these other accounts. But God bless you, 8 hours sticking it out. Chris, similar?
I remember the first day I went out, I hit a Big Lots and a Walgreens and bought a few different items. So I mean, one was a remote control, and then it didn't sell well. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I think I bought it, and it had like 0 rank even. I can't even remember now to the day. And then I actually finally got rid of them using pay-per-click advertising, or whatever they call them, the Amazon advertising.
Mm-hmm. Sponsored ads.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I finally got rid of those. But, nothing, no crazy story like that or anything. But, yeah, just started. And I used to do Target a lot. I used to shop. I used to be able to just kill a Target. Now I haven't been in a Target shop in over 6 months, probably.
I hate Target.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do you hate Target? Because too many other people jump on it and the clearances are relatively similar?
Low hanging fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Christmas only is what Mindy is saying.
Yeah,
you guys are really living the dream. I mean, you have the lifestyle business. I mean, talking to both of you, when we were hanging out at ScamPower, it's like, you do whatever you want. Scott, I enjoyed hearing the stories of your travels, not only here, but abroad. Your business runs itself while you're gone for the most part. You got your shoppers, you got your packers, preppers, all that, and you enjoy life. How many hours a week are you both working? I mean, are you still like just really ensconced in the business, or are you kind of just like, hey, I'll turn this over to you. We'll go do some traveltage here and there, but you're not working crazy hours. I mean, what's your life like now?
So I'll answer first. And right now, you one of the great things about this business is you can adjust the business to where you are in your life. Where I am in my life, I have a lot of free time right now. It's just the way things work out. I 5 kids, all 5 of my kids are grown. Just looking at where my future is at, I want to put in time now so that I can benefit from that later. So I'm putting in a lot of hours now, but when I do traveltage, and I do that at least once a month, so we're talking 1 week a month, if not more, traveling. I make sure to go someplace that I'm interested in going. It's
right.
Not just about seeking out the business. It's about exploring different areas. So to put in a number of hours, I right now, I'm probably working 50, 60 hours a week, honestly. But the thing is, I choose to work that right now, because I'm really trying to bring the business up to a certain level to where I can, coast isn't the right word, but to where I can do some of the things I really want to do, and cut it back into about 20 hours a week. But 50, 60 hours, that's my answer right now.
50, 60 hours? Okay.
So are you married?
Why do you ask, Cordelia?
Well, because you're gone for a week every month. That would not fly well in our household. But or I didn't know if your wife might travel with you, or your significant other, or whatever.
I was married for 22 years. I'm in a transitional state. Let's call that.
Sorry. Some couples do.
Can we get a little bit more personal now?
Right.
Look, Brian Vanu and his wife and kids, they do traveltage together. So for some families that works. I cannot imagine a fate that I would prefer less than being stuck in a hotel room with my 2 kids and my husband trying to shop
Or on a
and
cruise.
process inventory. But you know what? We all have our dreams, right?
Right. So that and really that's why I wanted to start, was kind of give a vision of a single guy and the time that I have, that I could say I want to go to Seattle for a week, I want to go to Arizona for 2 weeks. This next month, at the end of this month, I'm going to go to San Diego for a week, and then I'm going to drive to Colorado and stay in Colorado for a conference, which is going to take a week, and I'm going to take a week to 2 weeks to drive back. So that's kind of a single guy's viewpoint. And then I think Chris has a totally different viewpoint.
You had planes, trains, and automobiles just to get the Scan Power. I mean, you were biking it, right? Motorcycle to train to ferry. I mean, you were every mode of transportation. You were there
on purpose. I did that on purpose because it was fun.
It's adventure trage. We need to coin a new term here. So, what about you, Chris?
Right now, I feel like I'm actually getting into a better place. Last year, 2015, my first year doing, online selling full time, you can bet I was working 60 hours a week, and it was not making my wife very happy. And she's pregnant, and it just wasn't, it kind of got a little rough there, but I feel like I finally got into a really good groove, and now I'm doing it about 30 to 40 hours a week. Because like Scott said though too, I want to set this up so that I can build it up to a level where I can maintain it, and hopefully I want to bring in some other inventory streams. I don't want to always do purely RA. I want to do some wholesale, some more bundling, possibly private label, that type of stuff too, and then possibly some other income streams outside of the Amazon platform. So I'm willing to put in the time now, because I'm looking way ahead. I want to see how much money can I make on, Amazon, so that maybe I can do some real estate investing and some other stuff too, so that I can have, set myself up for retirement even. So I'm willing to put in the time now. I do have kids, so I don't like working crazy weeks, like 60, 70-hour weeks. I'll do it in Q4 because everybody does it in Q4, but so that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay.
So you guys have already, within a year to 2 years, gotten your business down to where it's a comfortable working level.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good goal for a lot of people.
What I kind of pride myself on too, for me, is that I only source 1 day a week. I do have a recent new shopper that's local in my shop. I'm not including the long distance shopper that's up near Scott, but I just love that I can go out and work one really long day sourcing, and then I have enough to maintain a business that is going to do well over $1 million this year. So I feel like I've gotten that good at RA that I can fill up my pickup truck with a camper shell on it, and in 1 day of shopping, spend anywhere from $4,000 to $9,000 in a day, and then just go home and let my team process it.
That's great.
Living the dream.
We're right at the top of the hour, so I don't know if we want to wrap up or keep going if people have more questions.
Actually, there is a question from Kay Miller, and I think, Chris, you had addressed this a little bit in the group. It's like, when you travel, how do you find deals on hotels? Like, how are you, which sites do you use? How are you paying for these hotels?
Well, Scott actually was the one that addressed it, but we do it so frequently together. We probably could do it better. We probably could be more into the, the travel points and the credit card miles and all that stuff like that. But really, we've found some amazing deals on using Hotel Tonight app on your iPhone. Like it zeroes in on where you're at, and because it's, probably after 4:00 in the evening and they want to fill these rooms, we've gotten Hilton Garden Inns for what was that one, Scott? $55 a night or something like that.
$55 a night.
Yeah, that one was really cool. So
was there a dead body outline in your room when you got there? I mean, $55 a night? Are you kidding me?
Right.
Wow.
So that one was cool. That's probably our lowest one, but we kind of just do it last minute. And then when we were in Seattle a couple weeks ago, we found a casino that had amazing deals. That was $60 a night, wasn't it? 69.
Yeah, $60 a night. And here's a big tip for people: casinos. I love staying at casino hotels. honestly, I do enjoy gambling, but not when we travel Taj. When we travel Taj, I don't do any gambling because I'm busy working. But casino hotels, they, especially last minute, these hotels are usually really high quality, and if they aren't full, they want those rooms. They want those rooms sold.
Yeah.
So
And potential gamblers in those rooms. Yeah.
exactly. So that's my big tip. I mean, even if you aren't a gambler, you don't have to be a gambler to stay
Stay in
there.
a casino. Good
And
tip.
one of the other great things about Travel Taj and casinos is casinos have restaurants in them, and the restaurants stay open late. So if you're out there at 7 o'clock in the morning and you're on your feet all day long until 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night buying stuff, you could go to where your hotel is and eat right there and drink if you want to. And there you go. There's your bed is right there. So to me that's it's a great tip. I love sharing that. Look at casinos. They're a great opportunity.
I would agree. I used to go to Louisiana a lot because it's not far from where I live. And like Boomtown Casino up in Shreveport, $49 a night.
Yep.
It's a nice casino. It's a nice hotel room. But again, and I'm not even saying like I was there that night and I was like, hey, book me a room. Like they would charge that much. I'd book it out like 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
But again, I guess they want you to spend your money downstairs in the casinos. So yeah, that's a good tip. I didn't realize there was that many casinos between California and Washington.
They're all Indian casinos.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's actually quite a few.
When you're
Yeah.
traveling, are you just like hitting Sacramento or wherever and just kind of going, or do you plan your shopping trip? Like, do you have a map, a route? How do you strategize your shopping time?
Well, another tip, and after I sent you a Tuesday tip, Jay, I actually thought maybe I thought of a better one, is we use Google My Maps, which is really cool because
Google My Maps.
yeah, it
Okay.
integrates with Google Maps. It's pretty much the same platform. It's just for a little bit more advanced. So you can do different layers on the map. And you can so what we do is when we find the area we want to source, we find all the stores in that area and we put them in as different layers on the map. So you can tick them on and off. You can say, only show me all of this store, only show me all of that store at this point in time. And then it's already in Google Maps. You just click on it and take me to this next one. So we do that. And then another tip is that if you have your favorite store chains, I found a website, I want to say it's called Ag Data, something like that. Google Ag Data, like
AG?
AGGDATA.
Like aggregate.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you can buy lists. And so, yeah, you could sit there and go to the store's website and find every store.
It's free though, isn't it?
No, you pay for these lists. So I paid $19 for every single grocery outlet in the United States.
Ag Data. Okay.
In a data file so that you can upload it into My Maps, and then boom, all of a sudden every single grocery outlet in the United States is on Google Maps for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really good tip right there. That's good inside intel right there.
We put them as different layers. So in Google My Maps, you can have 10 different layers. So you can have your Big Lots layer, your Sam's Club layer, your Costco layer, so on and so forth for all of your different stores. And you could color them differently. So they've got different, so you could stack them all on top of each other. And so you look at one map and you can see all of the different stores you're interested in. And then once we go to an area, we can see all those stores. And let's say we go to a Sam's Club and we realize that the Sam's Club in that particular district is they've got a closeout that we're interested in. Well, then we just get rid of all the other layers and we just look at all the Sam's Clubs. So that's why, like in Travel Tip, what we say is we start in an area with hundreds of stores as potentials. And then we visit like 4 sample stores on the first day and we decide, hey, for the rest of our trip, we need to focus on this. And then we go to Google My Maps and we just delete all those other layers and we focus on what we need to. And that kind of drives where we're going to, not only source, but also stay the next night.
Yeah. Man, that's great.
Those are great tips.
I'm putting a link up right now, and I don't know how this will translate in the chat room, but this is an app that I use.
Oh, I've used that one too.
It's called Finding Discount Stores. I don't know if it's available in Android, but I use it on iTunes all the time. If I'm at a different part of Houston, like Pearland, I don't spend much time down there. I'm up northwest. It's down southeast. But it pulls up Ross, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Walmart, Target, it shows you where all the basically the big box stores are. And it's one that I share in the Scanner Monkey all the time. To me, it's like one of the best apps around. I don't know if Tuesday Morning's in there or not, but it may be. But there's a lot of good discount stores in that app as well. So
yeah.
I love that. I love that ag thing though. That's great. Is it $19 one time or is it?
No, well, every list is a little bit different. Like I downloaded all the Big Lot stores and it was $40 because it was more lines of data. And then Sam's Club was like 15 or something.
So do you have much luck in Big Lots?
No.
No, I mean it just seems like I shop big. We have a ton of Big Lots in Houston, and it just seems like the best deals I found have actually been pet. Like around Q4, there have been some really nice deals for stocking stuffers for your dogs and cats. But like groceries, it's like it expires 30 days, 15 days from now, 45 days from now. I mean, occasionally you find some decent toys, but.
Well, I was being sarcastic.
Okay.
Big Lots is probably 50% of my inventory.
Oh wow!
Easily.
We
know Big Lots inside and out.
Before diving into that, I want to tell a funny story because we need a little bit of fun. So, funny story. You go into Google and you search for things. You like Sam's Club. You go to Google Maps and you type in Sam's Club and it shows you all the little dots and everything. So Chris and I were shopping. Where was that? L.A.
Yeah, L.A. area.
It was the greater Los Angeles area. We're shopping there and we're like hitting in Sam's Clubs and we're like really excited because they had some products that we're really interested in. So we wanted to hit every one. And so we went to one of the Sam's Club's locations. It was like somebody's house because in Google Maps, you could go into Google Maps and like
add your business.
Right. You can add business to any address you want. So somebody went in there and said, hey, this is Sam's Club. It was his house. It was a party.
Oh, okay.
So we pull up with a truck and trailer and we're like, yeah, this wasn't it.
You know what that's called? That's called an impromptu garage sale. We're already here. I mean, come on, let's see what the guy's got. I mean, who knows? That's awesome.
Well, do we have any final questions? This has been great having you guys on, but we're definitely getting to the end.
We are.
Guys are as much fun as you were at Scam Power Conference.
Absolutely.
A fun night.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thank you guys so much for coming on and for sharing your amazing tips. We'll be putting notes in the Facebook post as well. And just thanks so much for being such great monkeys.
Hey, let's have a toast.
Oh, absolutely.
I know lots of Irish toast. So when you drink with me at the end of the night, there's always going to be a toast. So here's my toast, and it's based on your travels. So here we go. May you have the hindsight to know where you've been, the foresight to know where you're going, and the insight to know when you're going too far. Here's to you guys. Cheers.
Thanks, Jay.
Cheers.
And thanks to everyone else. I know there's are we cutting off? There was a couple messages in here.
Was there a couple of Q&As?
I think we got all the Qs answered. If you guys have more questions, you can always PM Scott and Chris through Scanner Monkey or just on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're both awesomely helpful.
Lifetime members.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely. But you know what? Love Scanner Monkey. I really do. It was.
I love Scanner Monkey because I feel like, I don't know, I guess the membership fee cuts out a lot of the crap, in my opinion.
We don't get riffraff in our group.
Exactly.
We sometimes have to do a little bit of that manually too, Chris.
Okay.
Well, other than that Jay guy, but other than that, it's a good group. So.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for
Thank
having us.
you.
Appreciate it.
Y'all have a good night.
Can we do a couple announcements or?
Sure, let's do some announcements.
Okay. So next week, we're having another Orlando Scan Power Conference alum come on the show. We have got Daniel Wagner coming on.
Mr. Rapper, Mr. Karaoke.
He was so great at karaoke. He's all in on
Yeah.
karaoke. Really fun guy. He's also worked, he's got over $3 million a year business now, but he's got a really interesting way that he gets licensed merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going to share that with us next week.
Mm-hmm.
And like Minions and Batman, and he gets stuff that's not in any stores, and he gets exclusive access to it. And he's going to share those secrets with us next week.
That sounds pretty awesome.
So that's next week. And for those of you who are interested, my class is also starting next week. I teach a class on how to strategically decide if you want to put new things on Amazon. And we cover bundles, single items, and multi-packs. We cover a little bit about how to write listings, and we do photographs. And then most of the class is really about strategy.
Do you have a link you could share?
I do, as a matter of fact.
All right.
You mention it.
Set up and spike.
So,
Nice one, Jay.
and it is a live class, so it's a little bit different. It's not pre-recorded, so you can actually attend live and ask questions live. We have live labs, so
Best
if you're
kind of
working on
class.
something, you can really dig into it, and I'll be there to help. So that's my class. There's testimonials on there from previous students, so please take it if you think it would be useful to your business. And finally, we need to do our shameless. The Chris and Scott already talked about how great Scanner Monkey is, so we need to do our shameless plug for Scanner Monkey.
I just put up the link. That is the shameless plug.
Put it up. So join our club. It's awesome. We don't do affiliate marketing to our members. Everybody gets discounts on all sorts of cool stuff. We have bolos, and we have the most amazing community of sellers, I think, of
Without a doubt.
there. So
You
really
can learn more if you're listening and not watching the chat room at joinscannermonkey.com.
Yep, absolutely. It's only $20 a month, and it's totally worth it. So
It's actually $19.99.
thank you.
Saving you
guys,
money, everybody.
I can't wait to hang out with you in Denver.
For sure.
And I will see you guys then, and I will see you soon, Jay. And I hope you all, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys all have a great week.
Night,
All right.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.